Hello painters, welcome to my channel. My name is Sue and I will be your host, your paint host for this lovely session that we're about to get into. So, for those that don't know, I'm a visual artist, currently working on being a storyteller, and this is like my first, second time painting and filming at the same time. I have another video. I'll make sure to upload it at some point, but we're gonna get right into it. Okay, so we're gonna go through what we're painting today. We're going to be painting I would say it's like a painting, like a part of Greece. It looks like it. I never been out the country myself, so from the photos I've seen on Google, it looks like it's from Greece. So as you can see, we got some blues going on. We have different shades. It's a very beautiful image. We're going to go over our skies. We're going to go over our water. And then we're going to do some white over here, fill it in with some light blue. I think this whole canvas deserves to be a light blue. And then we're going to top it off with some mountains and then slowly get into details with the snow, the flowers, the plants, the little windows, little details like that. And I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do that. So for supplies, you should have, I know you guys probably keep looking at this, but we're gonna knock this out real quick. These are going to be your brushes. We have a flat brush to cover the big areas, and we have a small brush to cover the little areas. So these are the only two brushes you're going to be needing for this piece. You should also have a plate palette for where you're going to be loading your paint, and which I'll be doing shortly. I'm going to show you what colors you're going to need for that. And then you should also have your apron on. I don't have my apron on, so we're going to get that out the way real quick. As well as fill up our paints onto our palette, which I don't think you need a lot. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Give me a sec, let me put on this apron real quick. These are just plastic disposable aprons. You should be able to find these for a great deal in bulk on Amazon. Or you could get your own individual apron, it's completely up to you. And yeah, let's see how we go about unfolding this. In the meantime, I hope that you're excited to paint with me and creating this masterpiece. I know it seems a little intimidating, but believe me, I'm gonna show you how easy it can be, just like how Bob Ross shows you in the little episodes he be creating. So yeah, this is a very interesting apron. Okay, so it unfolds here. Also, as I walk you through the process, at the end of our session, we're going to take a group photo. If you are currently in another place across the country, that's okay. We can still take photos together. And how you do that, I'll have directions in the description, but pretty much you would just have to take a selfie with me in the shot, or not. I mean, I won't take it personal. It is your piece. And then you're going to tag me on Instagram so I know that you did your part. And so that I can repost you, so I can show my community the lovely masterpieces that everybody done created. So, apron is on, easy fit. You shouldn't be able to get paint on your clothes with this. We're not going to be splashing so much. And look at the spider on this. He doesn't want to move. If he jumps me, y'all, it's over. He's like just minding his business. So I'm gonna just let him chill. But let's get into loading our paints. So I feel like you're gonna need a lot of blue, but we're going to add as we go. When it comes to applying paint on the canvas, I'm gonna show you in a bit, but pretty much you'll want to have a dollop of each color on your palette. And I'm different. I like to add my colors according to how they look on a rainbow. I know it's weird, but that's how my brain operates. But there's no specific order for you to organize your paints. As long as you're able to access them, the rest should be easy. Easy pie. So this painting will require a lot of blue and white. I don't think we're gonna need a lot of yellow or red, but we're still gonna add a little dollop of that too. Whatever is left over, you could add back into your paint bottle, or you could preserve it in a jar. It's completely up to you. So I'm gonna put my paints back here. Final touch. Yes, this bottle is the messiest one because last session I didn't realize how much the whole party would need. See, look at me, I'm spilling. I am spilling dried paint on my clothes. So yeah, that's always fun. So gotta make sure. Oh, if it's a windy day, place your brushes on your plate away from your paint so you don't lose your plate and it flies away into oblivion. Gotta get all this dried paint off. I actually need to put some tape over this. Also, this is a mess-free activity. If you do get paint on your clothes, etc., it washes pretty easily with soap and water. This brand of paint should wash easy with just soap and water, so keep that in mind. And then we're gonna add a bit more white than usual for this, because I feel we're gonna need that. And that's going to be, ooh, I think I got paint in my eye. Yeah. So we're gonna get into it now. There we go. Oh, and you should also have your cup of water. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. This is going to be used to clean your brushes. So when we switch in between paints, you're going to be using this bottle. Well, your guys are going to have a cup. This is my cup for now. It's a cup from Akayo's. I've never been, but when I acquired this, I was told that you get a free drink when you go there. So just something to keep in mind. So a few pointers before we get started. No matter which brush you use, how you apply your paint. When you pick up your paint, you're only going to take so much before you start adding onto the canvas. And I'll show you that when we make our first move. But how you apply your paint, you're going to be gentle with your brush. You're going to do gentle strokes. And there's going to come a time in your painting, in the beginning probably, where you pick up a glob of paint and it's not going to drag, and that's okay. What you're going to do is, that's what this water is for. Not only is it to clean your brushes, it also spreads the paint across your canvas as well, so it has more longevity. So here's how you dip your brush in your paint. Dip your brush in your water. So when it comes to cleaning your brush, you're going to swirl your brush into circles, okay? And then you have this napkin before you. Now I get to talk about the napkin. The napkin is where you dab dry. You're going to dab dry your paintbrush like this. Make sure that all the excess water is off, and then you should be good to go for the next color that you use. As far as spreading the paint with the water, that requires just a light dip. Just a light dip. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that in the middle of our painting. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, we're going to add blue to our sky and to our water. I think that's the easiest thing to do. So, and we're going to add our white too. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give me a sec, y'all. I'm like analyzing this to make it easier for y'all. So let's start with our blue first. Every time I start with the painting, I do just a base coat of whatever color is going to dominate the whole painting. So that's going to be sky blue. So we're going to do the sky. So make sure for your palette, keep your paints where they are. And this side is going to be where you mix your paint. Make sure that you use as much base. Use little sections on your palette to mix your colors. So we're going to grab some white and we're going to place that on the other side of our palette so we know where our mixing side is. Make sure you scoop with your brush from the side and you pick it up and then you place it onto the other side. So 50% of white is what you're going to pick up, and then for blue you're going to pick up from the side of your paint blob so that you're not mixing colors. So we're going to take from the side, we're going to take a quarter blue and we're going to mix that in. And how you mix in a circle until it goes from, you know, all these different blues and whites to just one sky blue. That's all you're gonna need is that. You want to get that sky blue color in, and if you want it brighter, you can add more white. If you need it more darker, more blue, then you add more blue. So make sure that you mix that in, and once that you have the color that you want, you're going to start adding that onto your canvas, okay? So let's get used to painting on our canvas. So we're just going to sweep, brush. We're going to sweep our color away. And this is how you apply your first coat of paint. And like I said before, if that paint isn't spreading like how you want it to, remember it's the base coat. Just dip your paint into the water, just a little bit, and then you're going to add that onto your paint so that you can keep going. Add water as you go so that color spreads. And if you're running out of wet paint and water to spread that color, you can just simply go back to the color that you made, your blue, scoop that up from the side of your brush, and then you're just going to keep going. I say from the side of the brush because if you just dip it in the middle, like personally for me, I feel like I've used up all my paint when, you know, acrylic paint dries fast. I'm not sure if everyone knows that, but I'm just reminding you that that's what it does. So I use the water to just spread that coat across the canvas. And what I mean by base coat, it's pretty much given it's a blue, in its entirety, it's a blue theme piece. So this will be the foundation for your blue theme piece. Just gonna keep adding that across. Dip, water, wetten your paint, add more as you go. This is what makes the process faster too, if I haven't told you. So that we're not spending all day just doing this. And I know you see me holding this brush, but we're not going to use it yet until we get into detail work. So Let me actually put this down so y'all not distracted. This is gonna be our main brush. We're gonna use the big boy brush. This is the little boy brush. This comes in handy for later. So you're gonna keep spreading across the canvas. And just add as you go that blue. And relax. This is supposed to break the ice for you and your canvas. This is no class. This is just, we're chilling and painting. This is paint and chill right now. So don't worry about being Picasso, being Bob Ross. Just be you. This is your painting. This is you, your style on a canvas. And I hope this inspires you to create even more of your own signature pieces in the future. When I first started, that's how it was for me. So dip water and spread as you go. Scoop if you need more paint. And if you do need more paint, just repeat how you made that color. Like I said, if you made it too light, add more blue. If it's too blue, add more white. And that is the basics of mixing. That is your first technique for creating this masterpiece right here. So once you have your canvas all glued up, we are going to go into, I would say we're going to go into our water. And how we're going to do that, we're going to do more blue than white now. So you see in the sample, it's not completely blue. It's different blues come in different shades, and that's just how it is. So let me show you now how we mix the water. So take the side of your brush, pick up that blue, scoop it. You can put this into the color you mixed already since you've already prepared it. If you needed more blue, just add more blue. Or you can make the, honestly, you can make the water as blue as you want. It's your painting. Like, don't have me control how your painting looks. If you want your water to be a dark light blue, you can. If you want to just be blue, it could be blue. It's up to you. So we're going to take our paintbrush, and over half of our canvas, about up here, we're going to drag a line across where we could put where our blue's going to be. So let me show you. So I'm going to paint your blue across the canvas like this. Okay? And then we're going to cover pretty much this whole area right here. So you're going to start painting your blue across your canvas like so. If you need more water to spread across, slightly dip, because acrylic paint does dry fast. Dip as you go. If you run out of paint, just pick up that blue. No matter what kind of blue it is. If it dries up, mix it like how you did before. And we're just getting familiar with how we stroke our brush across the canvas for things like water. And you might need more paint, and if you do, please feel free to add more paint to your palette. If I'm instructing you, you raise your hand and you let me know how much paint you need, so that way you don't fall behind. I don't want anyone to fall behind. I want us to all be on the same page. Remember to dip water as you go. Don't worry about the drips, just paint across them. Do not worry about the drips, just paint across them. And then we're going to do our mountain next while our water is drying. And when you are adding paint onto your canvas, make sure not to add so much glue, but just enough so that it covers that area. You don't need to dip a whole blob of paint. I get it, you want to make sure it's covered, but believe me, you just make sure you spread that paint out. You want to make sure that that paint is spread out. It is a very windy day, by the way. If you want to go back over that water line, you can. I didn't feel quite sure about that line, that's why I went over it. Can't remember, whatever mistake you make is not a mistake. And if it's something that you don't want to see, just paint over it. It's completely okay. You just want to make sure that that bottom part is all blue for your water. So you dip as you go, so that way your paint spreads across the canvas like that. Okay, so after that, we're going to start adding our mountain background, this little part right here. So that's going to take 3 colors now. It's going to take red, blue, and white. So, but it's going to take more white. So this is how we're going to do it. You're going to take, if you still have paint in your palette, keep that blue. If not, add a little bit of blue. I'd say 25% blue and 25% red is what you're going to dip into that next mix. Using the side of your brush, pick up that paint, and then you're going to use 50% white. Okay, so I'll pick that up, and they're going to add that in. And then you should get that nice, beautiful purplish blue going for your background mountain. If not, that's completely okay. If you want it more blue, just add more blue. If you want it more purple, add more red. So we are going to take our brush and go up and then down to the end. So we're going to take our brush and go up, and then down. And then that's going to be where your mountains are going to be, where that water hits that, where your water hits that mountain is where you're going to cover it. So once that should be your mountain. And then we're going to add a little bit of yellow in there, okay? So we're going to add, it's going to be a little green. So how you do that, you're going to take some yellow now. And then you're going to scoop some with the side of your brush, like 25% yellow. And then you're going to add that into your mix. We're going to lighten it up a bit, so add some yellow and white in there to make it more green. Add it, don't be afraid to add it into your purple either. This is to give that mountain some dimension. So you're going take your brush. This is going to be another mountain. You're going to take your brush and you're just going to simply drag it across like that. Alright? So, that's your mountain. Background complete. Now, we are going to go into our mountain now. The mountain is going to be the easiest part. Why? Let me show you. So, you see how dark that mountain is right now? What we're going to do is add all of the colors. We're going to add yellow, red, and blue. A quarter of each. But the goal right here, we're going to take a new section of our palette and we're going to dip each color with our brush so that when we mix it all together, we get that. We get a brown. We should get a brown when you mix all the colors together. Unfortunately, I did not clean my brush. So, how do we clean our brush again? We're going to swirl. We're going to swirl our brush with the bottom of our cup until all of that paint is off. This is when you can finally clean your brush, I know, right? And then you're going to see how your brush is looking. If it looks clean to go, perfect. If not, just keep swirling. This is so that your colors don't smush together, so that each color has its own mix going on. So after you clean your brush, you're going to get the excess water off with your cup on the edge of it. Get the excess water off with the edge of your cup. And then you're going to lightly pat dry your paintbrush onto your towel. Paper towel, regular towel, whatever towel you're using for this project, until you're dry and ready to go for the new color. So, like I said before, we're going to mix. You know what? It's going to look brown, but we're actually going for a dark purple. So, my bad, y'all, bear with me. If you run out of blue, raise your hand. I mean, if you at home, then grab yourself some blue so that you are loaded for the next round of colors we're about to mix. So once you're loaded up, you're going to take another section of your palette and you're going to start. If you still got some leftover blue from the water, I would use that and take the edge of your brush, mix in 75% blue and 25% red, and that should make us that dark purple. So we're going to keep mixing until we have that color in, and this is going to be the backdrop for our mountain. If it's too dark, add more red to make it more purple. If you want it more dark, then add blue. It's easy, right? So we're going to take our brush and we're going to drag our brush across the water like that. So how we're going to do that, we're just going to make a mountain shape. Let me not make it hard for y'all. So we're going to take our brush and then make some lumps and another lump, and then we're going to go down and then we're going to drag across. So we're going to, like this sound, we're going to go up, go down again, and we're going to top that off with landing our mountain in that water. And that. And then from there, you can start filling in that mountain with your dark purple. love Sade. Forgive me if you hear me singing. If you need to drag that color out, just lightly dip that paintbrush in some water and just continue filling that mountain in and drag that brush across that water so you know where your mountain lands. Also, I would love it if you guys could leave me a comment, give me some critique on how my teaching methods are, because this is my second time teaching this session, where this year actually. So my goal is to just make sure that you feel confident in your style, in your painting, so that you can hang somewhere, tell your friends about it. So after that, we are going to take our yellow and our red and mix it with our purple and white. We're going to use yellow, red, and white for our mountain. So how do we do that? We're going to clean our brush, get that excess paint off of that paintbrush. Make sure you swirl that brush in a circle and get the excess water off of the brush with the edge of your cup, and then dab dry your paintbrush. Now we're going to add yellow. We're going to take a quarter yellow, forgive me, 50% yellow, 25% red, and let's just see how that looks before we get into adding that onto our canvas. This is going to be the highlight of your mountain, by the way, if I haven't told you. And it looks a little red, so we're going to add more yellow. Once we get that nice golden brown of yellow, we're going to start adding highlights to our mountain. You see this yellow part right here? This is going to be the highlights where the sun is shining on our mountain. Give it that dimension. So we're going to take our brush and drag it across like so. Add some highlights here and there. I ain't judging how you apply your paint. I'm gonna just add where I know the sun's gonna touch it, where the sun's gonna say hello to that color. Wanna make sure you get the tops of your mountain. Pick up some paint as you go. And drag some up and go across. Add a little speck right there if you need. Add some more going up. Add some more going this way. And the goal here is to just get that mountain highlight going. And then we're going to add some of our mountain over here. We're going to dab, 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 dab across your mountain. And don't worry if it doesn't match that blue, because mountains are pretty rocky. Mountains are pretty rocky. So add some highlight there if you need. to add some green in there. It's gonna be quiet, it's like silent green. So how do you do that? We're going to add a little bit of blue in there. Not too much, because blue is very powerful. Just a little bit. A little bit of blue. And then you're going to add that into your highlight, because we're done adding highlights. And you're going to get that nice mountain green going. Add some yellow too. Until it looks green. Not too green. We're going to do brown green. That's why that red is there. So once you have your green, you're going to start dragging that across your mountain like so. I'm going to add some green right here at the bottom. Add some green right here. Pretty much going to add some green where you think should be on this mountain. If it's too brown, add some more blue and yellow. So that way you're not too brown, you're not too, it's a variety pretty much of greens going on. And then I know you're looking at that white heavy, so we're going to take a break on this brush so that we could get acquainted with the detail brush. So you're going to clean this brush, we're going to give it a break. Remember, little circles. Excess paint goes off. Actually, we haven't even worked on the house yet. We still got a lot. We have a lot to cover, but it's gonna be over quick. Don't worry. We're gonna cover it so quick. So now we're going to focus on the scenery. So you're gonna need white for that. You know what? I'd say a light blue. Let's do a light blue. So we're going to pick up your white with the corner of your brush. Find a space on your palette that's either, hasn't been used or dry. It's okay to paint over dry paint, okay? So we're going to take a lot of white. This is why I gave you a lot of white. This is why I said to get a lot of white. We're going to make a lighter blue now. We'll add a little bit of blue and mix that in. So you should have a nice sky blue. I'm going to add a little bit of red so it has like a nice little purple tinge to it. So make sure that if it's too blue again, you're gonna add a little bit of blue. If it's too dark, add some white. With the corner of your brush, you pick up your paint. So we're going to start creating the outline of our city. So we're going to take our brush and drag a line across like this. Lightly across your canvas, pick up that brush and you're going to go down. And then you're going to add from there. I know your dome is there, but we're just getting the outline. So this is going to be where our dome is going to be. I'm going to go down. Get that little house, the outline of that little house. I'm going to get that little bit of extra house below it. And then we're going to top it off with our little round house and our little house in the corner right here. And from there, you're going to start covering this whole area, okay? So make sure this whole area is covered up. Again, if your paint starts to run out, pick up that water and continue to cover that area. The goal is to cover this whole area with some glue. Again, how you make your color is going to be 75% white and a little bit of blue and red in that mix. So make sure you get that this whole bottom part covered. I'll move my bottle over here so I can cover this area. And you're just going to dance your brush across, just like you did with your water and your sky. My bad, that thought took way too long to process and tell you, but yes. Again, if you run out of paint, I'm running out of white already, so make sure that you get your white. Got a little bit in there, just like how you did in the beginning, not too much. You want to save your paint. And then we're going to, again, pick up that big scoop of white and a little bit of blue and a little bit of red. I'm going to mix that in. And then you're going to continue to paint across your little city. And don't worry if it's too, pretty much if the colors are looking all over the place, don't worry about it. And the leftover paint that you have, we're going to use for the sky. So we still need to make some clouds for that sky. So once this is covered, you're going to take your brush and we're going to do a little glide in the sky like that. So that's how you're going to apply your paint, is a glide in the sky like that. So pick up some of that paint. You can honestly go whichever direction you want as long as you do that little glide in the sky. So just like that. You're going to add some white to lighten that up. And you're just going to glide your brush wherever you want your clouds to go. This is where each painting gets their own personality, because now you are spreading the clouds wherever you want. So you should have your sky now. Now we're going to get into the houses. Don't fret, okay? Let me see. So we're gonna work on our dome first. We're going to add a light, like a mid blue, a mid sky blue. So how you make that, you just use the same colors you used to cover this up, but we're gonna make it more blue. So you can use the same section if you want, or you can take a new section, but again, I do 75% white, a little bit of blue with the corner of my brush, and a little bit of red with the corner of my brush. That's a little bit of red, so I'm gonna put some back. But now you should be having like a more blue going on. And I like to add a little bit of blue in there. This is where we give our houses some dimension. So we're gonna use this purplish, darker blue for our house and for a little rail area. So for starters, let's start with the ground first. So we're going to start with this part of our canvas. This is going to be the walkway. So we're going to take our brush, diagonal, and drag it across like that. And if it's too blue, that is completely okay. You would just need to use more blue for that. So pick up a little bit of blue at that end. Let's see. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. We're going to mix in our blue. And then we're going to add that blue in. And then we're going to take some actually, we're going to start with our blue, the base blue for the dome. So that way we can use that as our reference point. So we're going to do a purple blue for the dome. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to drag a line across our building like so. So you hit the end of your canvas. And then you're going to round it off. Like a little rainbow arch. You're gonna round it off. And then you're going to make sure that is covered. Ooh. And then you're going to make it more light as you go. So what I mean by that is you're going to add, we're going to work our way up. So to get out of our purple blue, we're going to add more blue. And we're going to add to our dome as we go. We're going to whiten it now with some white. Now I'm going to paint this on the outside of our dome going in. So keep adding white as you go. We're going to color that you add. So just notice how it's getting lighter and it's getting lighter. We're going to add more white until we get it shiny on our canvas. Taking our brush, we're going to stroke across out like that. And then we're going to add more white as we go here in this section. We're going to add more yellow to fancy it up now with our white. And then again, we're just going to, once that color is blended, we're going to add that as we go. So start from the bottom, work your way halfway to the top. Add more white. Add that on top. Add more white. And add that on top. Until you have the little dome gome. You see that now? Awesome. Okay, so we are going to take our dark blue and we're going to start building our buildings. So we're going to take some blue, take some white, and take some red. You might need more blue for this one so it pops. The goal is you want it to make it pop. So we're going to paint a rectangle square here with this side of our brush. So lightly, we are going to drag that down to the halfway mark. We're going to use this section, and then we're going to turn that into a rectangle right there. We're going to lightly dip some paint and secure that rectangle. Lightly dip your water. And don't worry if you can't cover that other side of the dome. We're just making sure that we cover up the whole building. You're going to take your brush, point of your brush, drag that down, and drag that down to your walkway. And you're going to round it off right here in the corner. Don't worry about this part either because it's going to be covered with flowers. So I'm going to cover this section. You see it kind of coming together now? I hope you do. If you got drip, just pick up your towel and just slightly dab it. Unless you want to mix that color again, but we're gonna cover that art with white anyway. And then we're going to take, where this corner is at, we're going to round that out with we're gonna start with our brush right here and drag it down. Or drag it up, whichever way you wanna go. But this will be where our little house is going to be. And we're going to And we're going to, if you run out of paint, keep picking up that water. And you're going to drag down. And cover that section up. If you run out of glue, remember how you made it. It's going to be white, blue, and red. Okay, and while we're at it, you see that little section right there? We're going to add some glue in there too. So that way, you know that the building's got some dimension too. We're gonna make it 3D. We're gonna make it pop. And don't worry about not covering up the top. We're going to save that for the little brush we got. And don't worry, we're almost done with the big brush. Then we're gonna lighten up our buildings with some white, some blue, and some red. Brighter than that, so more yellow. Mix that in until it's good to go. And let's just see how that looks. Let's drag that down with like from here. So it's more purple. I don't like it purple personally, so I'm gonna just add more blue and more white. So drag that down. And just cover that part up. Okay, so we got that nice blue going on there. And now we're going to take our brush and make a little triangle going out to give a little accent to that building we got. So we're going to connect that. Going outwards. So now that got dimension. You're going to use that same purple to round out your little house right here in this corner. So let me show you. And to make it pop off with that back piece, we're going to add more white. Alright, perfect. And now that we have this figured out, we are going to go into a white. So this is where the fun part starts. We're going to clean our brush, circle. Make sure we clean it. And then we're gonna just pick up some white now. And paint our building right here. Cover that up like you would a coloring book. These are the buildings that are gonna make it pop. walkway. So you're going to take your brush, go from here, grab it up, and then go across like so. Spread that out. So now you have a little walkway. Now you're going to take your brush and add some white here too. And you're going to drag your white down. And for your top palette, you're going to go up. And then drag down like so. And I'm going to just drag that paint going down until it got that highlight on the top. So you're going to go from the top of your house and drag down. Top of your house, drag down, drag down, drag down. Down, down, down. Bottom of the scene. Alright. And I'm going to round it off on this side too. Then we're going to pick up our make it pop. Make that little triangle right there. Drag it down. Let's let that white know that we're here to make it pop off our building. With your brush, take the side, go down. You're going to take a little bit of that sky blue. This little detail I forgot to add. Take a little bit of that sky blue. And you're just going to drag a little stroke across like that. I wish I could tell you what it's for, unless someone knows. And then you're going to highlight your house. We have a little bit more coverage, but after this, I'm gonna let y'all run with this next one. So clean your brush. We're gonna do the ground now. So that's going to be yellow, red, and white. So once your brush is clean, just like so, like this, you're going to pat dry it. Take a section of your palette, wherever it's dry or wherever it's open, and you're just going to take, let's see, 50% yellow, no, 25% yellow, 50% white, and a little bit of red, just a little bit from the corner of your brush. Not too much, like, that should be a fair amount. And then you're going to mix that in until you get a brown for that walkway right there. So I would add a little bit more red and a little bit more yellow. So that could be the walkway. And we're going to cover that area up with our brown. So cover that up. Make sure you get that corner part right there. And this will be the beginning of completing the rest of our painting. So from here, we're going to keep this color. We're going to use this color for the roofs of these houses. So clean your brush. We're going to take him a break now. I'd say we're done with him for now. One more thing, I'm sorry. We still got to do the top and the windows, but I think after that we'll be done. If not, shoot me. Sorry. So we're going to take the rest of our blue. If you ran out of blue, get some blue, but this is going to be for the roof. And then you know what? Yeah, let's just knock it out. We're already here. We're going to use the side of our brush to do some little detail work, so that way the little brush doesn't get worn out. So we're going to take the corner of our brush with our blue, and we're just going to drag it across like that, and that's going to be our little patio. And then we're going to pick up some more blue, corner of our brush, not the whole thing. And you're going to drag your brush down to make the windows now. So slightly drag your brush down. Let's see. And we're going to darken our blue now, so we're going to use some red for these other windows. So run out of blue, get some blue. So that's good for me on the blue. And we're going to pick up some red. I'm gonna get that dark blue window going for these little houses now. So we're going to take our brush here and drag down our color. You can have your window big or skinny. It's completely up to you. I'm going to take a couple strokes down and give it that window. And add another right here. So now we got some windows going. Don't forget your little house here too. He needs some windows too. He's going to need most of the flat part of my brush. Like I said, it's up to you how skinny or how tall or wide you want your little house to be. And then with that same color, I ran out so I'm making more, but with that same color, you're going to take the brush and you're just going to cover, to pick up your paint and cover that area right there. And that should be the ground of your patio. A little shadow, cast it, that's your patio. So that is your, and while we do have this blue, we're going to, now you're going to clean your brush, and then we're going to use the detail brush. So let's get acquainted with that. Let's clean our brush right here, swirl it around, get that excess paint off with the edge of your cup, and then you're going to dab dry. Now you're going to use little man here. This is going to be your new brush that you're going to use for the details. So I'll wake up my brush with some water, dab it, and then with that same blue that you used for these windows, you're going to make the little windows now. So I'll pick up your blue and your red. house right here. Do a little line, a little arch. And it gotta be perfect. Like I said, we not Picassos and Basquiat's. You are your own artist, and it's up to you how you want this painting to look. I'm going to use this. And then we're actually going to use some white now for the inside of these windows since we're getting into detail. So we're going to take some blue. This regular blue is fine. Regular blue. Like I said, you can add some white, you can add some blue, but it's totally up to you. Just make sure you get those edges. Make sure you get that inside. See where it's popping out in that window. Even in here, you want to give it like a little opening so people could put their heads out. Windows. I want to focus on this window now. Add some light blue. Go around it. And then we're going to use our brush for the white. So clean, just like you do with that brush. Dab dry it. You're gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna say it. We gotta add the little holes in the dome. So you're gonna need some. You're gonna use some blue, some dark blue. So do some blue and some red. Then you're going to add some dots around the building. So for these, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to make some light blue. You're going to do some white and some blue. Make sure it's 75% white and 25% blue. You're going to drag your paint across your little dome around like so. So like that in a sweep motion. So you're going to add some highlights to your building so that we could give it that dimension. And just a little regular blue for that last one. He's been chilling like, when you gonna paint me? There we go. Now, next, we're going to focus on the white parts of the scene. So we're just gonna use white, that's it. So we're going to use some white, finish off our windows. Going to drag down, inside. We're going to use that white again. Dab that white across like that. And then we're gonna start adding little windows to the background part, it looks like. Yeah, so we're going to take our brush and drag our white across, lightly across this part of our building. Even with this little side building, we're not going to forget that. Remember, we noticed it when we first painted it. Now even he gets a little highlight. Again, if you run out of paint, just ask them to paint. If your instructor tripping, then they tripping. but we're just gonna add some white in there. I added a lot, but we'll make do with it. Okay. So you're going to take your white, and you're going to add some highlight on that. If you feel like you don't have enough white on your reel still, so it pops off, you can just drag your brush across like so. Are you proud of how this seam's coming together? Because I am. If you're not, why not? It's your masterpiece. You're the Picasso. I'm gonna add some dabs of white here to make that pop off. And then we're gonna add our little cross on the top. Because now what we're gonna do now is focus back on our mountain. So drag down until you get across. There you go. Give it a little platform. And you're going to lightly add snow on the top of your mountain. So go up, up. You're gonna go up, up. Or you could dab. You're gonna do some dabbing motions now. Okay, so make some little swish swivels here and there. Yeah, I call them swish swivels. I'm a character. What the goal is to make sure that this part of your canvas is covered with that snow it rightfully deserves. I believe that's snow. I hope it's snow. Make sure you cover that mountain with some sugar on top though. I know you see that little building. Don't worry about it. We're going to get into that in a minute. And then we're going to add some snow to our mountains as well. So you're going to drag your brush going up that way. So up. And you're going to dab down. Just a couple little strokes there. Light, quick. And that should be, you see it coming together now? Because I see it and I'm hella excited. So, And then we're going to do we gotta do the trees, the flowers, and the little brown parts. So, remember that brown I told you how to make before that we were gonna save for this and I kind of veered off? We're gonna get back on that. So you're gonna use your yellow, red, and green. Yellow, red, and white. I'm tripping, my bad, y'all. So white, yellow, red. I'm gonna mix that together. And you should be back with that peach color. Now we're going to add a little bit of blue in that mix so we get some brown. If it's too green, add some red so we can brown it out. If it's too purple, add some yellow. And then we're going to use this for the top of our houses in the mountains and in the sidelines. So you're just going to lightly take your brush and draw that line across. If that's not the color you want, that's completely fine. You can just pick up some red and some yellow, because I'm kind of not satisfied with that color, you know? So we're gonna make sure we get that brown, because all these colors make brown. I'm not sure if I addressed that in the beginning of the session, but all them colors, other colors make brown. Okay, so we got the top of our roof there. And we're gonna add a little house up there, up on the top. I'm going to pull it up. Not too much, just enough so that they know. And then we're going to add some flowers. So make sure you clean your brush. I have this habit where I take my towel and I just dab my paint on before I clean it. That's helped me a lot get the excess paint off, but I'm not controlling of how you place your paint. But anyways, we're going to do the pink. So we're going to take some white, take some red, and mix that up until we get a nice pink color. If you want more red, just add more red. Simple, right? And we're going to start dabbing with our detail brush. So we're going to dab, 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 dab. As much pink as you want. It is completely up to you. Even down here, I'm gonna just add as much pink as I want. Even for the green, we're going to add some red and some yellow. I'm going to dab in there too, so that we have some variety. We're almost done, y'all. Make sure you clean your brush. We're gonna do the green now. If you wanna take your brush and take the excess paint off, that is fine before you begin cleaning your brush. Now for your green, you're going to use blue and yellow. So take a scoop of blue and a little bit of yellow, and mix that in until you get that green. If it's more blue, just keep adding more yellow. You're going to dab your leaves however way you want it across your canvas. Just dab it on away. Then you're going to add some in your tree up here. And then we're going to do the lighter parts. So we're going to take some yellow, more yellow than blue. And then we're going to start dabbing that on top. Gonna dab that. And it looks like we got a full house, y'all. I'm just adding finishing touches. With this brown, I completely forgot to add another roof up here. Forgive me, y'all. If you want to add another roof over there, you can. If you want to add some finishing touches, like make the sky more blue, I'm gonna show you with the big brush. I'm just getting the little details. out the way. I'm going to add this little blue building in the top. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I'm going to tell y'all where I'm going to put this now. If y'all can follow suit, y'all can. There's a little building up there. And then for the sky, we're going to take our white, find a place on our palette where it's dry. I'm going to take a corner of blue and start stroking across the sky. And start adding that in. So we're going to do some swish washing right here. So the darker the blue is, that's like the more depth of the sky there is. It's a weird thing to explain, but you can add white as you go until you hit that water. Okay. And there you should have it. Add the finishing touches wherever you see fit. And you know, I'm gonna add some yellow here because I feel like my mountain is not as yellow as I want it to be. And I got a paint party today, so I'm gonna keep you guys updated on that. If not, please remind me because I have a lot going on in my mind. But I hope that this tutorial has helped you guys a lot in your paint journey, in your paint and chill journey. And that, you know, you make some dope masterpieces out there. Just add some little detail right there. And like I said, like, it ain't gotta be perfect. As long as it's how you like it to be. That's all that matters. The exciting part is seeing how everyone's pieces look. Because it's all perspective. It's all in how you see your art. And I'm just happy to be here with you guys and tackling this painting, making sure that you get better, you get great at your craft, and that you killing the game. So it looks like, it looks like we got a masterpiece with an hour and 30 minutes. So this is our piece of grease. That's what I'm gonna title it. That is what I'm gonna title it. See, here I go. Here's my perfectionist mind going. Now I'm like, oh, there's that little detail right there. There's that little detail there. Don't mind me, y'all. I'm just adding my finishing touches to it. But let me know what you guys thought of this tutorial. It was a blast, like, doing this again. The hardest part was starting, so I'm just grateful to have jumped off and just get into it. And any feedback is welcome. I want to know how I did so I can improve. But if you are painting with me on this beautiful day that you please, go ahead and share what your work looks like. Make sure that you tag me. And yeah, we should be all peaches and creamsy here. See, I'm still going. Don't mind me. I'm still going. I don't know what be going on with me. But okay, I'm done. As far as cleanup goes, just make sure that your brushes are cleaned. You know, get that excess paint off. When it comes to my parties, I don't think I'm gonna have my guests do that because they're trying to enjoy their party. So cleanup generally takes me about like 30 minutes. Same with setup. It's nothing too crazy. Make sure you dap dry. I don't even think we needed black. I don't think I'm gonna have them waste this. I think we're good to go here. What do you think? Oh, don't forget to sign it. I like to sign mine in the corner like this with a little detail brush. Just like that. Easy, right? Okay. Clean. If you want to stick around for the cleanup, be my guest. Oh, I didn't pose. And this is a piece of grease.